All right, so now it's recording. All right, so let's see. First, you upload or paste in your bump board thing that you want, right? You move it to using the move resize tool, right? Make it bigger, or smaller, right? That's one thing. Now we can create the game pieces. So for that, what I did was I just used a rectangle, right? And then said game piece and oops, not that counter. If you click delete it, right? And then I used the line tool. Okay. And then from the palette, I just picked from the Christmas section, I just picked the gingerbread man, a snowman. Let's do a Christmas tree and maybe a snowflake. Okay. Now I resize them to be a little bit smaller. So we can just use the move resize tool to say smaller snowman, smaller gingerbread. Right. And then I just put the game pieces here. So move them here. And the counter for this guy is this. That guy is that.
Will we be able to save once we make that with the game piece and the counter, will we be able to save that in our objects so that we can pull that out easily?
Yes, you can do that too. So you can say, hey, add to palette. So you can do that. It'll add to your palette then. So for the game pieces, because you want the kids to move these, so I select this and say student can move, right? This one as well, student can move. And these two, because you want them to replicate it, you want to say student can clone, right?
Could we clone multiple copies and have them on top of each other? Is that a possibility or no?
You can, but this way it's easier for them to handle it.
Okay.
Because then it auto clones. They don't need to click anything. It just clones on its own.
Okay.
Right. This is much easier for them. So now this game board is prepared, right? So let's call this game 1, right? Now what I do is that I need to pre-create the groups. So when the kids join, they can directly go into the game that they are assigned to, right? So you click the avatar menu, you say create group board. You add the ID, so group 1. You move this guy to the right, and you say group 1 again. So this is pre-creating groups, right? So I can create 2 groups, group 1, and similarly do the same for group 2. Right? So I have 2 group boards created already, group 1 and group 2, right? And that's it. Now I can invite students. So let's try and invite a couple of students in here. So you just take the invite, copy it, and you can open an incognito window on Chrome to see a pretend student. Paste the link there. So this is the first student. So when they join, they'll be asked for their name and the group ID. So they say G1 if they want to go to group 1's board. Right. So now you see that they have ended up on the group 1 board. Now I'll add another student from a different browser. So I open Firefox. So then another student here. So again, student 2 is already group 1, so I'm all good. I just press this. So both these guys are on group 1 now, right? You can see student 1 and student 2 are on group 1. So this can be the gingerbread and this can be the snowman. And one of them, so this is important, one of them has to place the dice on the board. Okay, so you click the tools and say show dice. Only one, right? So then they get the dice on the group board. Right, for the first time it will have a different number, so you just have to spin it one time, so then it synchronizes, so then it will have the same number, right? And now
Sorry. So I was going to say, so we can't preset the dice. That's the problem. One of the students has to put the dice on the game.
you can we'll try that after this recording. Let's try that to see if
Okay.
we
Or
can
could
do
a
that.
teacher join that group 1 as well and be the one that puts the dice on the game, so that can we be in multiple?
Yeah, you can do that. So you can actually click this thing and you can join the group beforehand and put the dice there too. That's a good idea, right? So there, that'll work. So you have to go to both the groups and put the dice there. If you put it on the teacher board, it doesn't work because then it's not the same dice, right? And then from the teacher view, you can go to grid view and watch all of them playing at the same time too, right? So this is cool. If you have two groups, you'll see all the kids' names there and they're playing on different boards. Okay, and then if I go here, now, so one more thing I recommend if you have young kids, you set the default tool to move and resize, right? So if you set the tool to move and resize, they don't even need to select a tool from the left-hand side, right? So like, for example, okay, this kid plays 5, right? And then they say, why did this guy not update? Okay. Yeah, so this guy plays 5, so he moves this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know how this is supposed to work, but okay, then maybe the counter goes there, right? So they can just use the drag and drop. It'll make copies. So you see, it's making copies of this automatically. I don't need to use a cloner or anything of that sort, right? It just keeps making copies. And if this person's done, they play. Right? They play a 4, and their snowman moves 4 up, 2, right? And this one, they put a snowflake there. So both of them can see each other's where they are and covered, right? Good. Is there anything I'm missing?
No, that's fantastic.
That is so helpful. Thank you.
So that move and resize is the cloning, is what you're saying, would be the best thing for the little ones. It instantaneously clones it for them.
Right, exactly. So all they need to do is just pick this up and drag it. It will keep creating copies.
Fantastic.
Right. So if you put multiple of them, then they have to tweak it a little bit, but this way it's super easy, right?
Would it be the same as the spinner, that a student would have to add it to the group if they're using a spinner?
Yes, it would be the same with the spinner too.
So do you think a spinner might be a little bit more challenging for the little ones because they're preset? Like, could we preset a spinner for them to pick from?
You could create a spinner up front. So you could create like, you could create a spinner that they can clone from. That's another possibility. Some teachers do that. So they do like, so I go to widgets, I pick a spinner. Right, you can make it slightly smaller, put it here, right? And then you say, you can configure the spinner to have numbers instead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops. Right, and then what happens? And then, oops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then this is important. You say sync student spins and update. Okay, so now you have a spinner, and the spinner, again, you have to set it to students can clone. So on the group board, the one of the students or the teacher, whoever joins first, right, has to do this. So let's take away the dice, right? Because this is set to clone, they just need to put a spinner, a copy of the spinner here. Because if they spin this spinner, it will spin for the whole class. Unless you're playing for the whole class, then it is fine. Then it's okay to have a single spinner. But if you're playing two different groups, then it's good. Then you have to make a copy.
Okay.
And then when you spin this, then it spins for everybody. Right? So these are the two students who are part of the group, and they both see it spinning.
So if you were just doing one game board, let's say you had 4 students and yourself and one game board, you would just put G1, group 1. When you created it, you would just have one group, and then they put their name in G1 in the bottom.
That's right. And then you don't need to clone the spinner either, right? Then you can just use a class spinner and everybody sees it. So that's much easier if you have the single group.
And so, and when we're logging on, do we go the same? Do we click start teaching, or do we click start collaborating to start the board?
Start teaching. You cannot do all of this stuff on a collaboration board.
Okay.
So
Okay.
spinners and dice, none of that works on a collaboration board.
Okay.
And
Okay.
none of the, like, the things I was showing you where you can actually move stuff around, right? Like the infinite cloner, that doesn't work either.
Is there a way to stop the spinner quick, like,
Yeah, in the webinar today, somebody asked for the same thing. We will change it so that it doesn't keep going around for so long.
okay, that would be great. I have to tell you, thank you so much. This has been fantastic.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So should I stop recording, or do you want
Yes.
it, guys? Yes.
Thank
Okay.
you.